what's up, man?
So what do you tell Jeff Horn?
I mean, let's fight.
I mean, let's fight.
I mean, really nothing else to say. I mean, he has a belt, I have a belt. Let's unify.
Let's unify.
What happens in that time?
When you get a belt, you want to go over there. Keith Thurman want to go over there, and now y'all want to say, "Oh, I ain't fought nobody," but I got a belt now, so
okay. Sean Porter got a belt too.
So now
Sean Porter got a belt too. Sean Porter. So why want I go to easy road and not Sean Porter out? So why want I go to easy road and not Sean Porter out?
So why want I go to easy road and not Sean Porter out?
Oh, that was different.
Spence knows he can't beat Crawford.
That sounds to me, Mike, like a duck.
So what do I do, YouTube? It's your boy King David in this thing, and I'm back at y'all again with another video. Okay, so before I get going on the video, man, y'all know what to do. Go on ahead, hit the like button, and if you're new here, be sure to subscribe one time for your boy, so we can continue to grow like we need to grow on this channel. You know what I mean? And while you're hitting that like button, make sure you check out that merch though we got going on out here on these boxing streets, man. You know what I mean? We got shirts, we got coffee mugs, water bottles, hoodies, all kind of good stuff. So be sure to check out that merch though. And while you're doing that, be sure to check out the memberships, man. Check out the perks for the memberships. We got some good perks for our members. Be sure to check that out, man. You know what I mean? All your support is much, much appreciated. But anyway, with all that being said, bro, y'all see what the title of the video is. There's a new mandatory in town. Terence Bud Crawford has just been mandated by the WBO to fight Alexis Rocha or Rocha. I don't know which way it go. Alexis Rocha, right? The dude who beat up Blair Cobbs, right? That's what he's known by on these boxing streets these days. But the WBO officially mandated this fight, and you know, I just want to make it very clear that the WBO officially mandated this fight after everyone else in the welterweight division completely and utterly ducked the shit out of Bud Crawford. All right, completely and utterly ducked the shit out of a Bud Crawford. We got Earl, the big jellyfish Spence, the guy who needed Bud to get a belt first.
I say Terence Crawford.
Yes.
You know, that's why it's gonna happen. Hopefully he beats Jeff Horn and gets that belt. And like I said, I want to be undisputed welterweight champion of the world.
He needed Bud to get a belt first, but he fought Mikey and Danny with no belt.
Man standing here to our right, former two-division champion, Danny Garcia in the house. I'm here to not just say that this might be your next opponent, but I'm announcing that this will be your next opponent.
The guy that told Bud he was on the wrong side of the street, but then tried to fight Jeff Horn and Canelo, who are also on the wrong side of the street.
Can we be done with everybody else but Terence Crawford? Can we just do Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford?
I mean, that could happen. We got to see how it goes. But, you know, like I said, I can move up to 160 and fight Canelo Alvarez.
Look, I want to get...
The guy who said Bud needed to take a 60-40, 70-30, and then an 80-20 split, even though Ugas, Sean, Danny, Mikey all got more than the 30% or 35% that they were looking for Bud Crawford to take, right? Earl Spence, the guy who made every excuse on every occasion not to fight a Terence Bud Crawford when it made all the sense in the world for him to fight a Terence Bud Crawford to begin with. The guy he said he wanted to collect all his belts on his side of the street in order to fight a Bud Crawford.
I was avoiding him. Like I said, I'm going to get these belts over here, then I'm going to come take Terence Crawford belt because I said I'm going to be undisputed welterweight champion of the world. So the only way to make that happen is to take his belt. So, I mean, nobody's avoiding him.
But as soon as the opportunity is there for him to fight Bud Crawford, he willy-nilly moves up to 154 pounds and is in the process of dropping all the belts, right? So Earl Spence ducked the shit out of a Terence Bud Crawford, but not only Earl Spence Jr. We recently found out that Virgil Ortiz refused to fight Bud Crawford not once but twice. Refused to fight Bud Crawford not once or twice. The dude has an opportunity to fight for a world title, something he's never been able to call himself, right? A guy that's supposed to be hungry, a guy that's supposed to be an up and comer, right? Given a shot at the pinnacle of the sport and becoming a world champion, decided to forego that opportunity so he can fight Stanionis in a title eliminator? Huh? And then we got Jerron Ennis, the guy who decided he wanted to go the IBF route, right? He wanted to go the IBF route and fight Earl Spence instead of a Terence Bud Crawford. He wanted to go the IBF route even though Earl Spence hadn't fought a mandatory title defense in 4 years since he fought Ocampo, and Bud fought a mandatory last year in Sean Porter, meaning he would have had a much better chance of getting a title shot with a Bud Crawford than he got with a Earl Spence Jr., but decided to go the IBF route anyway, petitioned the IBF 3 times in order to get Earl Spence in the ring, when he could have used a quarter of that energy and put it in the petition in the WBO in order to get the Bud Crawford fight, right? So we got all these guys at the welterweight division for one reason or another, or maybe the very same reason, which is they don't think that they'll hold up in the ring with a Terence Bud Crawford. Nevertheless, I digress. We got all these dudes ducking, dodging, maneuvering, and pivoting their way out of a fight with a Terence Bud Crawford, and here we are. Bud Crawford's left with nobody with the balls needed in order to step in the ring with him right now but Alexis Rocha, right? Alexis Rocha. And it's crazy because you know the Spence fanboys are gonna go Super Saiyan strawberry mode, right? You know these dudes are gonna get super emotional with the fake outrage, right?
You gay.
Oh, KD, how could he fight Alexis Rocha, KD? It's just like David Avanesia. Bud is choosing to fight Alexis Rocha. Why doesn't he fight Virgil Ortiz or Boots Ennis or Earl Spence? Because they all ducked the shit out of a Terence Bud Crawford. Because the WBO just said
a mandatory challenger because Billy Hill refused to fight him twice. I don't know why. Ortiz. Billy Ortiz, excuse me. Billy Ortiz refused him to fight. Billy so was my friend from that.
Just to confirm, you're saying Virgil Ortiz refused to fight Crawford 2 times?
Yeah, we offered the fight twice, yeah.
But it's Terence Bud Crawford fault, right? It's Terence Bud Crawford fault that Earl Spence got to take the easy route first, right?
So why am I go to easy road and not Sean Porter? So why am I go to easy road and not Sean Porter?
So why am I go to easy road and not Sean Porter? So why am I go to easy road and not Sean Porter?
It's Bud Crawford's fault that Jerron Boots Ennis, instead of petitioning the WBO in order to get the fight with Bud, he petitioned the IBF, the same belt that Errol Spence hasn't defended in over 3 years, in order to try to get that fight, right? It's Bud Crawford's fault, right? Blame Bud, right? You know what I'm saying? But all in all, man, all in all, bro, at the end of the day, it's like this, man. You know, if this is the next fight, this is the next fight. At the end of the day, I'm just excited to see Bud Crawford back in the ring doing his goddamn thing. You know what I mean? So if he can get this fight made, get this fight done, cool. Because that means Bud is keeping himself active. He's keeping himself busy. You know what I mean? He's not waiting on Earl Spence, which is what I did not want Bud Crawford to do. I did not want Bud to wait on Earl Spence. Do y'all not realize that if Bud Crawford would have waited on Earl Spence, He wouldn't have fought in almost a year and a half. Errol Spence is suspected to be fighting in June. So that would be almost a year and a half that Bud Crawford would have been out of the ring waiting on Errol Spence. Right? But instead of that bullshit, Bud Crawford is going to be fighting in his second fight in 6 months. Which, again, he's doing what he's supposed to be doing by fighting as often as possible, 2 times in 6 months, while Errol Spence hasn't fought but 1 time in the last year and a half coming up, right? So, you know, Bud Crawford's doing the right thing, man. He doing the right thing. He ain't waiting. He ain't waiting on nobody to do what he's supposed to be doing. He's doing exactly what he's supposed to be doing, man. He's talking to exactly who he's supposed to be talking to. He's looking to make the fights. He's exactly the fights he should be looking to make right about now, right? Not doing too much, not doing too little. Staying active, staying busy. You know what I mean? So, you know, those are my thoughts, man. Let me know what y'all think, bro. Hit it up in the comment section below. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. And everybody, and I do mean everybody, be sure to hit that goddamn like button on your way out. But until next time, bro, I'm gonna holler at y'all. Peace.